Had a haircut and I can't get it to stay in place. It's really annoying. Hello everyone, how are you doing? That's not how I do my intros. Hello everyone, welcome back to Fairly Determined FM with me. My name is Chris. I hope you're all doing well. So we are back for Season 2 at Brighton and Hove Albion. Last season we finished 6th in the Premier League, and at the end of last season that was enough to get us the Conference League, but through a series of events I didn't capture or understand, we're actually in the Europa League this season, which is better. Although I think we had a better chance of winning the Conference League than we do of winning the Europa League. But, you know, we got to the semi-final of the Europa last year, so maybe we can do it all the way this year. I think I am going to target a domestic cup this year, though. We've not won a domestic trophy ever, except, well, that's a lie. We won the Charity Shield in like 1910, which I don't think counts, because it was over 100 years ago. I mean, it counts. But you know what I mean. I joked in the last video after Palace got relegated that I would go and try and buy some of their players, and that was mostly a joke, but also not that much of a joke, because I've signed Adam Wharton from Crystal Palace. I don't care that he's a former Palace player, he's going to be a superstar, and he only cost me £20-ish million. He's going to be incredible. Him, Belieber, Gilmore, Pascal Gross, Martel, who's fine. They'll be good in our midfield this year. We've also picked up Taylor Harwood-Bellis from Man City for about 7.5 million. He's a young player, but that's kind of fine, because as I said in the last video, up here, I do it all the time. I'm off centre as well. Bloody hell, I'm off centre. Last video, I noticed in the edit, my background was all tilted like that. So Taylor Harwood-Bellis is young, but that's okay, because Lewis Dunk is going to be retiring at some point, and we need someone to sort of start learning from Lewis Dunk and from Jan-Paul Van Eyck to fill that gap that's going to be left when Lewis Dunk sadly retires. He's not going to be retiring anytime soon though, and I've given him a new contract on 90 grand a week. He's very easily our highest paid player, and he's worth every penny. Before the season gets started though, Aston Villa approached me to take over from Unai Emery, who has moved on to Manchester United to replace Erik ten Hag. All a bit of a managerial merry-go-round. But I've obviously got no interest in that, thanks very much, because I'm Brighton till I die or am sacked, or both. Villa, though, go and hire Sean Sodding Dyche. His Everton team last season had our number every single time, so we know how those games against Villa are going to go. There's another signing as well, this time in the goalkeeper department, and we welcome Vladimiro Falcone, who's got a fantastic name, 29 years old. He's going to be replacing Jason Steele, who has moved on to Toluca. I needed a backup for Barbara Bruggen, because Jason Steele is not really good enough for this level anymore, I don't think. Our schedule to start with is pretty kind again, but we do have a really tough run of games in September, October and November. We're playing Liverpool, City, Spurs, Chelsea, Villa, United and Arsenal all in a row. That run is going to be tough as hell. It's time for the first game of the season, and like last season, we've got Bournemouth once again. Unlike last season though, the points are shared between the two clubs, with Dominic Solanke and Billy Gilmore providing the goals in a 1-1 draw. We're much improved though in a 4-1 win at home against Luton. Evan Ferguson gets his first goal of the campaign, then Ogbene levels it up for Luton before another goal from Ferguson and 2 from Buonanotte ensure the points stay with us. Stay with us? The points stay? Do they come home? Is it coming home? It's the Euros, maybe it's coming? I don't know. We can't decide if we want to be a good football team this year or not, because we follow that up with a loss against Brentford and then a really, really drab 1-0 win against Everton. It's an average start to the season, and it sees us in 9th place at the end of August. I can't say September. September starts with a game against newly promoted Leicester. It doesn't go well. We're 2-0 down inside 10 minutes and then 3-0 down in the second half. Solly March grabs a late goal for us, but it's very much too little, too late. Our form is worrying. Very, very worrying. We do get given a pretty good set of fixtures in the Europa League though, and we already played Braga last year, so we know what they're all about. Also got PSG, and editing Chris here, just interjecting, he meant to say PSV. V, not G? Is that G? Yeah, sure, why not. And Panathinaikos, FC Copenhagen, which I think is Copenhagen. I think there's some big teams in there, some tough games, but I think, based on how well we did in the Europa League last season, I think we can do all right. It does, unfortunately, make that really tough run even harder, because on top of playing all of the big six, the traditional big six, we're now going to be travelling back and forth across Europe as well, in between all those games. God knows how all that travel is going to affect us. Speaking of travel, it's time to kick off our continental campaign for this year, and we're travelling over to Denmark to play Copenhagen, which I think is how it's pronounced. I'm going with that. So we concede first, which was a bit of an issue last year, and it's still an issue now, but 4 goals from the 3 Js, João Pedro, Joel Veltman and Julio Enciso, give us a 4-1 win, which is a really nice way to start that campaign. I'm really happy with that. Now begins the run of terror, as I'm calling it. It starts against Liverpool, who are a team we have not yet beaten in this save, leave, and that's a trend that continues with an absolute hammering. In order to give the boys a bit of a rest, I play a very heavily rotated squad in our cup game against Preston, but they need penalties to scrape past. It's not an ideal endorsement for our second string players, but it does set up a game against West Ham in the next round. So this is the run of terror. It's already started with Liverpool. That was a 3-0 loss, and it's going to end with Arsenal in the middle of November. Rather than making you sit through it in all its horror, I'm just going to show you this Simpsons meme, which correctly illustrates what happened.
You bug! Hey, you better go! I'm gonna go! If you do go!
Torture. Absolute torture. Every single game outside of our European fixtures, we lost. Even the cup game against West Ham, we lost. I knew it would be tough, but goddamn, it was hard to play through that. We've now lost every Premier League game since that 1-0 win against Everton in August. August! It has been bad. The players have lost patience. The board have my head on the chopping block, and if I don't get a result against Fulham, I'm going to be sacked. Alan Velasco proves to be Fulham's danger man. He scores their first goal early on in the first half. Solly March sets up Simon Adingra for the equaliser, but Velasco gets their second and is involved in the third. A second goal from Adingra gives us hope, but the match ends 3-2, and with it, my career as Brighton and Hove Albion manager. So the board haul me into a meeting in which they decide that I need to be escorted from the premises. I don't make a scene. I go quietly. I know where I'm not wanted. It's fine. It's fine. Now, I don't know how this happened. I genuinely don't know how this happened. We made a couple of changes to the squad, but it's basically the same team that finished 6th in the league last year and got to a Europa League semi-final. This shouldn't have happened, which makes me think it has to have been this run of games. Playing those 6 clubs plus Villa, Sean Dyche's Villa, in a row, coupled with all that European travel, we just had no chance to get any sort of momentum going. It's a brutal run of games, an absolutely brutal run of games. You look at the Villa game, 64% of the ball, we had an XG of 2.42, 7 shots on target compared to their 6. It's just they were way more clinical than we were. Evan Ferguson on a 6.1, Simon Adingra on a 6.3. We had chances to win that game. Evan Ferguson missed 2 clear-cut chances. This is them now. He's a better striker than he's letting on here. You know, Gilmore gets the ball out wide to Harbour Bellis. Harbour Bellis, low cross in, and Evan Ferguson's one-on-one with the keeper. And he misses it. It's a tap-in. Wharton to Belieber out wide to Matoma puts in a great pass, and Ferguson's one-on-one, and again it's straight at Martinez. I don't get how he misses those chances. I know it's still 3-2 at that point. You know, if Evan Ferguson scores those goals, it's still 3-2. But Jesus, I mean, yeah, the Arsenal game, they were all over us. 1 shot on target, poor, really poor, all over the pitch. United game, again, pretty poor. 20 shots, 12 on target, 54% of the ball that United had. Chelsea, again, you know, just clinical. 4 out of their 9 shots on target went in the back of the net. City, we didn't have a single shot on target against City. It's mad. Absolutely mad. I think what's frustrating about it, though, is that if you look at December, our fixture list in December was so much kinder. So much kinder. Games against West Brom, Leeds, Forest, Leicester and Luton, all of those are winnable games. If I could have just gotten us to December, we could have won a bunch of those games, brought up the morale around the club, brought us away from the danger zone a little bit, but the board just didn't want to give me the chance. So, who do they replace me with? Me, a born and bred Brighton fan. Who do they replace me with? That's right, it's former Crystal Palace manager Patrick Vieira. And, surprise, surprise, he does do pretty sodding well in those easy games in December. By the end of the season, to give him his due, by the end of the season, Patrick Vieira has stabilised the ship a little bit, and they finished the season in 15th place, which is nowhere near where they wanted to finish, but it's better than where I was apparently going to take him. Also, he doesn't just stabilise the ship and get them finished 15th. No, he wins the sodding FA Cup. It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. I'm not bitter. It's fine. I'm fine. Everything is fine. What does that mean for this series then? I'm not going to lie. I thought this would last longer. I thought I'd get at least 5 videos out of this just to, you know, tide us over until they start announcing some FM25 stuff and I can get onto that. FM25, this is going to be awesome bandwagon. Regular viewers of the channel will know this. For you new viewers, this sort of stuff is not uncommon when I play Football Manager. I see a lot of threads on Reddit about how easy Football Manager is. I don't find Football Manager easy. I find Football Manager quite tough. I find it quite hard. And quite often, saves will turn to dust before I get any chance to try and turn them around, which is exactly what happened here. It's funny because I watch other YouTubers play Football Manager, obviously, and they all seem to be really good at the game. You know, they seem to go from strength to strength, season to season, and do really, really well. I don't do that. That's not what you get when you subscribe to Fairly Determined FM, which you should do if you haven't already. It's not over. It's not over. This bit of it is. This Brighton bit of it is. I'd take my shirt off, but you don't want to see that. It's over. But the videos aren't. The videos are continuing because I've enjoyed this. It's been fun. So there will be something coming soon. I do have a new club. It is a club that plays in stripes. And that's all you're going to get from me until the video comes out and you see the club. It's same world as well. I'm not starting a new save. So I've turned it into a journeyman. Thank you very much everyone for watching the video. Thank you for your support on the last one and hopefully your support on this one as well. I really appreciate it. It's cool seeing so many new people joining the channel, especially because I took such a long time off in the sort of latter part of last year, early part of this year. So yeah, that's really cool. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought down in the comments. If you haven't already, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed it and if you want to see more. And yeah, I'll see you back here with this other mystery team that plays in stripes. All the best. Cheers. Bye.